I feel like this is just running back the same story over and over again. Hey guys, look, that guy from Florida does a really good thing. Yeah, well, hey, to be fair too, I didn't bring it up, but Kristi Noem in South Dakota, you know it, that on and off again, a really good governor. She's just kind of fucking wafy at times. She's decent, but I got a long memory. But Ron DeSantis, the Stop Woke Act. I forget what W.O.K.E stands for, but we'll probably get to it in the body of this argument. Ooh, it's been shared 69 nice times. So anyways, DeSantis gives Florida parents another tool to fight back against woke indoctrination. We're going to be talking about CRT in schools, which isn't a thing. Fuck off. Anyways, on December 15th, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced the Stop the Wrongs of Our Children and Employees. That is a forced acronym if I've ever seen one. Listen, I like Ron, okay? I like him for a multitude of reasons, and I think he has a very bright future, but you better hire somebody else to work on your acronyms, okay? Because that one's contrived as a motherfucker. A legislative proposal that will give businesses, employees, children, and families tools to fight back against woke indoctrination in schools, in corporations, and they will face consequences. So yeah, I didn't report on this when it was first announced, but now it's been signed into law, so that's good to see. Stop Woke Act will be the strongest legislation of its kind in the nation and will take on both corporate wokeness and critical race theory. Reads the December 15th press release. Today's proposal builds on actions Governor DeSantis has already taken to ban critical race theory and the New York Times 1619 Project in Florida schools. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with teaching fiction, but if you're going to go ahead and teach it as fact, we got a problem. Really got a problem. Stop Woke Act would empower parents, students, and employees by creating a private right of action. DeSantis press secretary Christina Pushaw said in a statement, individuals would be able to sue for discrimination if they are subjected to training or instructions that creates a hostile environment by promoting the discriminatory concepts, that underpin CRT. In addition to combating CRT in education, Pushaw said the proposed Stop Woke Act would make Florida the first state in the country to ban CRT-inspired indoctrination in the workplace. Quisha King. Really? The Florida mother and Moms for Liberty activist whose comments at the Duval County School Board went viral. Might be one of those videos that I seen, can't quite remember. Said the new initiative is a great idea from the Florida governor. I think it's great. Thanks, Quisha. Along with everything else he's done, like expanding school choice, which is totally a great thing, I think it accomplishes some of the same goals. It will force teachers and school boards to stop pushing woke curriculum. Legally, it's great for parents to be able to say, hey, this was brought to my kid's school and I'm going to take this to court. It's a good tool for parents to use the pushback on school boards and corporations for them to stop the nonsense, King said. This wokeism has just infected so many of our institutions, and corporate America is just another one. I think it's great for employees to have legal tools at their disposal. If I'm going to be harassed, I'm going to fight back. Just like if I'm being sexually harassed. You should probably have receipts though, but most of these what people are calling woke policies, which be more specific, I just hate the catch-all term woke. Okay, yeah, I use it like everybody else, obviously, but always try to hone in on exactly what people are talking about. Okay, yeah, because you could say something's woke, but it's like maybe you just disagree with them and you're trying to be disparaging. It's like when idiot leftists are out there and it's like, that guy's just a chud. Well, what does that mean? I forget the acronym for chud, but it's just trying to dismiss somebody. Oh, you're just right-wing, you don't mean anything. There's a lot of, talented people on the left, obviously. And it's like, okay, Alec Baldwin might not be the best person at handling a gun, but he's an excellent actor, okay? I can always separate the art from the artist, the person from the policies. If you're a good person, but you have really shitty ideas, I don't hate you, I hate your ideas. But that's something that's missed by a lot of people, regardless of political affiliation, okay? But maybe I'm just different on that, okay? That kind of just harkens back, and considering it's Christmas Eve and all. It's one of those old Bible verses, and I'm not even going to begin to quote anything that's directly out of it, but seem to recall something specific about hating the sin and not the sinner, something like that. Anyways, yeah, to just wrap this up, so I think it's great legislation for employees and parents to fight back against, there it is again, wokeism. Tiffany Justice, that is a strong name, co-founder of Moms for Liberty, is encouraged by the governor's new efforts. The Stop the Wrongs Against Kids and Employees Act is one more step on the journey of parents reclaiming their children's education in America today. And that's what's important, okay? Keep working on reforming the school system, okay? Because it was degenerating, like even up here in northern Alberta when I went to public school, primary school, I guess elementary and primary is the same shit, okay? It just goes to show you how good that public school system is. But the junior high school and high school, it was starting to fall down that social justice-y route where everything was starting to get a little bit more identity politics or politics-y, mostly sticking to facts, but it was just kind of generally useless shit anyways. I'd always prefer that people get taught more practical information, okay, instead of just random facts. Like if you're just working on an overhaul of the really bad system itself, that's great. That is something that you should be aspiring to. And this guy here has a ton of work ahead of him, and I don't envy his position, but hopefully he's up for the job, okay? New York City's mayor-elect, and he can't become just the mayor proper soon enough, Eric Adams' education pick to overhaul fundamentally flawed school system. Let's see if they're on the right side on this one. I'm not talking specifically, is he on the right side? Yeah, I get it, okay? This guy, once again, he's another one of these people who campaigned as a centrist. He was saying all of the good things, okay? All of the proper things. It's like somebody who's not left of Bill de Blasio, okay? This guy's looking to repair the wrongdoings of that 8 years of terror. He seems to be on the level, so let's see if he's keeping on the straight and narrow. New York City Mayor-elect Eric Adams, pick for education chancellor, is planning to reimagine the city's fundamentally flawed school system, prioritizing parents over education bureaucrats. Nice talking points, okay. Incoming Chancellor David Banks, a longtime educator and founder of Eagle Academy, a network of schools that caters primarily to African-American boys. It's New York, okay, but it's at least boys. That's, I guess, a change of pace, and has a graduation rate consistently above 90%. Okay, fucking A. You can extrapolate that out. That's awesome. We spend $38 billion each year in the system, and 65% of black and brown children never reach proficiency. Okay. He called for record low levels, a betrayal, adding, "We should be outraged by that." Should be. And hopefully you can do something about it. Seems like you're the right guy for the job, in all honesty. Banks, whose father is a retired NYPD police officer, plans to take on the city's educrats, okay, saying you cannot change New York City if you do not change the state of education in the city. Okay, let's. It's the biggest testing ground that you can find, so let's see if their policies do anything. I'm all about this. This sounds awesome. That's where we begin, explaining that it needs to be a transformation and it will start at the top. We will turn the tables over. He told Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network, "I believe fundamentally that the way we are educating our children is wrong." He is correct. He is correct in that, even though he was talking to an absolute charlatan, saying that those in charge of an education in the city have not given students a reason for going to school in the first place, and he vowed to dedicate education to students' economic upward mobility. Trying to make them uppity. I get it. In line with the message of revamping the education system, he told Nan he is not here to play around on the margins. He said that the appointment acceptance speech that students exist in a school system that is fundamentally flawed. Couldn't agree more, okay? But you're being very vague in your descriptions. And again, you're talking to Reverend Al, so you gotta kind of, read into certain things, but not too much, not too much. You gotta give him the benefit of the doubt-ish. According to the Post, the banks questioned why thousands of Department of Education employees in these high-paid positions were needed. Oh, you're saying all the right words, my guy. And vowed never to announce a major policy initiative for the city schools unless he was surrounded by parents and families who have co-signed on what they're doing. Awesome. The appointment to New York Post editorial board believes he will make the bureaucrats in the city's education department squirm in their seats. All right, then. They're teaching it wrong, the incoming chancellor said to CBS New York of illiteracy in the city. We're going to go back to the phonetic approach to teaching. We're going to ensure that our kids can read by the third grade. Hopefully they do. And that's been a huge part of the dysfunction. Fair enough. Explained to CBS New York that 25 years ago, the city decided to pursue balanced literacy as opposed to the phonetic approach. A change, he said, has not worked for the black and brown children. Or any children? How about all the children? That'd be cool. To succeed in his ambitious path, Banks told PIX 11 that, he would take an invoke the village approach, explaining that some of the city's students and teachers might see longer school days, summer schooling, and a high level of community involvement. Yeah, if you're stupid, go back to summer school and fucking rectify that problem before we pass you through. Fundamentally, I think this guy's got the right approach, okay? And I want to see it implemented if it works, okay? It seems like it should. These are common sense policies. These aren't these far off ideological concepts and nothing based about them, but fomented in postmodernism and critical race theory, critical theory in general. This just seems like shit that has worked before. We're going to try to bring it back. We're going to try to make education great again. You'll love to see it. And yeah, this is the one thing. It really made me optimistic in 2021, okay? When people started to fuck around with kids, okay? Not in every circumstance, okay? I might have to rephrase that. When parents started to notice that the schools were going after their kids, they were trying to teach them really fucking weird shit, they took action, okay? They started to go down to these school board meetings, and the school board teachers are like, we're just used to like one person in the crowd, okay? We don't need all of these people pushing back. We have an agenda that we're just trying to push, that we're getting told that we need to do. Stop asking us questions, you domestic terrorists. But this was really optimistic because it's like, okay, maybe this is how you activate the silent majority. Okay, maybe when these ideologues, these leftist cretins out here, they keep trying to push the envelope a little too far. Maybe this is the red button. Maybe this is that big red activate button that needs to get pushed in order to see any sort of progress in the future. Take note of this, okay, especially next year. While most admit to voting only in presidential elections, especially, like, this is just a fact, okay? The discrepancy between conservatives and Democrats when it comes to midterm elections, okay? In a big general election, more Democrats tend to turn out. That's just a fact of life, okay? But in midterms, more Republicans tend to turn out. And then when you take a look at specifically men and women when it comes to turnout, it's a lot more even, okay? Men just barely edge out women in the presidential elections, but when it comes to midterms, it's not even close. It's several percentage points ahead. So see if that holds true in 2022. I like the rhyme of that. According to Fair Vote, about 60% of American eligible voters cast ballots during presidential elections, while only 40% during the midterms, with 2020 and 2018 marking the highest presidential and midterm turnout in over a century. I wonder why. However, while midterms traditionally have a lower turnout, many Americans now have a renewed perspective on the importance of casting their ballots in midterm elections. While midterms are when many voters narrow the field of candidates ahead of the general elections, there are also time when voters cast their ballots when those they want to represent them in the state and community offices, such as school board members. Some believe the surprise victory of Republican Glenn Youngkin over Democrat Terry McAuliffe in Virginia's election is a sign of things to come in the 2022 midterms. I would say so, because with the exception of the recall vote in California, which was always a long shot, but you didn't anticipate getting shit kicked 3-1, Republicans pretty much taken every single, or at least biting huge into Democratic margins everywhere, okay? Because, yeah, the triumvirate sweep in Virginia, okay? Winning the Senate presidency on a budget of like $100 in New Jersey, and just about beating Phil Murphy for the governorship. That was a wake-up call, or at least should serve to be, but it doesn't really look like it's resonating so far. So 2022 is going to be a trip. Just a day after Youngkin won, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, oh my god, this guy, pledged to soon unroll a Parents' Bill of Rights, adding at a news conference that the GOP will be the party of education. All right then. Yeah, but you guys are anti-science. What are you going to teach our kids? Jokes on leftists. They don't procreate. Glenn Youngkin's victory in Virginia was led by frustrated parents who were fed up with the education system that neglected their needs of their children, McCarthy told the Epoch Times. It is just one snapshot, the same frustration that has been and continues to be felt by millions of families nationwide. Yup. And it looks like that's resonating even in, that GOP stronghold, New York City. It's starting there. And I'm glad that, God, GOP actually took notice that, you know what, if you start backing up kids in private schools, not like how a lot of politicians like to back up kids, they want to take a look at the education system and realize that, oh, fuck, we kind of seceded that ground some 60, 70 years ago, and now it's really coming back to bite us in the ass, and now you're trying to reclaim that because your opponents kind of overstepped their boundaries and really overplayed their hand. Maybe this attempt to just try to reclaim this land, it's not going to be an overnight policy, because you see how long it took for leftists to really overrun the institutions there. If this works, it's the right way to go about things. And that's another reason why I'm at least partially optimistic about 2022 and beyond, because fuck, this shit can't suck as bad as it has in the past year. At least that's what I tell myself. Anyways, we got something. This is going to be like the last big major news topic, because I just want to dunk on journalists with just absolute fucking insane shit. Something that's going to be popular over the next couple of days as well, because, yeah, focusing on the news will make you want to kill yourself. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.